Here's the top 5 most useful mods I have on my Tacoma. My number 1 most useful mod on my Tacoma is actually in the back seat back here. It's the 400 watt anytime mod from Guild Outfitters. This mod allows me to use the Tacoma inverter that came on the truck while I'm driving the truck inside of the cab of the truck. Usually you can only use the inverter in the bed of your truck. Not very useful unless you're using it for tools or stationary. But this mod puts an outlet in the back of my console here, and it also allows me to use 400 watts while I'm driving. I use this to charge up laptops, charge up e-bike batteries, GoPro batteries, you name it. It's been very important to my setup when I'm overlanding and camping to make sure I have all my batteries charged up and my setup keeps on trucking. I also can use it to run my fridge in the back if I wanted to use the AC power instead of my DC battery box. This mod comes in at $99 and it's a pretty good deal seeing how much I actually use it. Because of how much I use it, it's got the number 1 spot on my list. I will have everything in this video linked down below, and if I have it, I'll have some discounts available for you guys too if you're looking for them. My number 2 most useful mod is going to be these Lasfit rock lights. I use these rock lights all the time, not only when I'm overlanding and off-roading to see what's on the side of the truck, but I also use it when I'm stationary to light up my campsites and to see when I'm cooking at night and when I'm packing up my camp. I also use this in my day-to-day life when I'm bringing groceries home, when it's dark out, or when I'm just walking around my yard and I want some light to see what I'm doing. These lights have been extremely useful, and they're actually the lights I use on the truck the most. All these lights on here don't even get used that much. I use the rock lights the most. I don't use these as other enthusiasts use rock lights to light up my wheel wells or just make the truck look cool. I mainly use them to light up the ground around the truck. It was the only reason why I bought these. You can pick these up from Lasfit for $119. I'm also going to link down below how I'm mounting them. I have these mounted with magnets. Pretty awesome setup. If you need help installing any of these mods as well, I've done all the install videos on the YouTube in the past. I'll post them up here on all the mods we're talking about if you ever need help. There's also a discount for Lasfit as well if you need it. Number 3 is going to have to be these upgraded interior LED lights. This is one of the first mods I've ever done to my truck, and it's been pretty awesome to have. When I'm driving down the road at night, if I drop something, Ashley can turn on the lights, be able to see what she's doing, and grab whatever I dropped. When I'm unpacking my camp setup, I'm able to light up the whole inside of the truck and see what I'm doing. Not to mention it makes the whole inside of the truck look a lot better than it does with the halogen bulbs. I've talked about this mod a couple times in other videos, but I think this is a very nice mod to do. It's cheap, about $18 off Amazon, and it takes you about 5 minutes to install, and it's extremely worth it. Number 4 here, and I'm going to try to get these done as fast as I can. It's starting to snow again. Number 4 is going to be my WeBoost cell phone booster. Now, this is a more pricey mod. It's about $500, so I don't expect everybody to have one of these, but I can explain to you guys how much I've actually used this. Nowadays, anytime I hop in my truck, I turn it on just so I don't lose service. When I'm running my GPS or when I'm listening to music, I don't ever drop phone calls now because I just drive around with this on all the time. Not to mention how much it's helped me overlanding and camping, especially with us living out of this truck for 7 months last year. It was a game changer. It was the only way I was able to live out of this truck full time for 7 months. It allowed me to work in remote locations by providing enough service for me to log on to my job and actually do Zoom calls and meetings like that. So it's worked really well. When you compare this to satellite phones, the price makes a little bit more sense. A satellite phone is going to run you about $200 to $500, and then you got to pay to use it. This I use all the time, and it can be used across the board. I have multiple devices using this. Ashley's phone, my phone, and we have 2 different service providers. She's running off Verizon towers, I'm running off T-Mobile. So we always have service wherever we're at because of this WeBoost and because of us using different providers. A lot of people online say these don't really work well, but with my experience here on the East Coast, because I haven't used it anywhere on the West Coast, it's been great on the East Coast. There's been locations in West Virginia where I've been without having this, I have no service, nothing. Then I go there when I'm running this, and I'm able to send a text message out, post on Facebook, and that could be the difference between you being stuck somewhere and not having any help, or somebody being able to come get you out of a ditch or something. Looking at it in that sense as well, it pays for itself in peace of mind you have to be able to do some harder trails because you can phone a friend for some help. Number 5 most useful mod on my Tacoma is actually back here on the tailgate. This is the mountain hatch tailgate panel, and I'm going to tell you guys what, I love this thing. I use it all the time. Not only is this my camp kitchen setup where I cook on it and I cut chicken up and I cut vegetables up on it, but I also use it as a place to set tools and stuff when I'm working on the truck or working on anything. It's a flat surface, so I can set tools down, nuts and bolts, and I don't have to worry about them rolling off or getting stuck in the cracks like a normal tailgate would have. And it works great if you're crawling up in the bed of your truck. You don't have to hurt your knees on the ribs like the stock tailgate has. I've used this for about a year now, and the only issues I've had with it is if you leave it down and in the sun, so it was a hot day, about 100 degrees out in direct sun while I was working on stuff, I just had it down. The heat hitting the plastic actually warped the plastic a little bit and pulled it out of the screw holes that are in the tailgate. This was a problem, it looked bad, but I was actually able to fix it by just hitting it with some water. It warped right back. So if you have one of these or are thinking about getting one, be careful leaving it in hot, direct sunlight because it will warp that plastic. You can pick this up from the Mountain Hatch website from $200 to $250. He's always coming up with new models of these. So I think right now he's on version 3, which has a little bit of a different cubby hole drilled into it, but he's always coming up with new designs. It's pretty cool. And as a bonus one here, guys, I can't do a top 5 most useful mods on my Tacoma video without mentioning this phone mount. I didn't want to put it in this video because I've talked about it in the past, but I cannot tell you guys how much this has been useful to me. Being able to set my phone somewhere where I'm not worried about it falling in between the seats or falling out the window or something crazy like that while I'm off-roading has been a game changer. Being able to have my phone plugged in and keeping the wire out of the way of my shifter, because this is a 6-speed manual, has been a game changer as well, because I use it to navigate using Google Maps. So if that wire gets hit and it comes unplugged while I'm trying to figure out where I'm going, it becomes very annoying. So having this phone mount up where it's at has also been a game changer for my navigation. Honestly, guys, for $80, this phone mount will totally transform the way your Tacoma feels on the inside, because in my opinion, with the 6-speed manual at least, there's no place for you to put your phone and it not be in the way and still be plugged into the Tacoma head unit. So I love this phone mount, and I had to mention again, this is the off-roam phone mount. If you're curious, linked in the description as always. I hope this video was helpful, showing you some mods that I find really useful on my truck. All of these mods I mentioned are on the cheaper side, and that was not the intention of this video, but it just ended up that way. I have a lot done in this truck, but the things I mentioned in this video are the stuff I use all the time and what I consider the most useful. I don't really use this bumper too much. I don't have a winch hooked up to it other than running the light bar and keeping me protected if something runs into the truck. The roof rack's pretty useful and looks cool, but I'm not using that box up there all the time, and I'm not using a solar panel if I'm not out overlanding. The mods I mentioned in this video are mods I use in my day-to-day life. I figured this would be the best way to show useful mods, is to show mods I still use in my day-to-day life. I hope you guys liked this video. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It means a ton to me. We're on a road to 10,000. We're almost halfway there. Thank you guys so much. Also, check this video out right here. It's pretty good, and I'll see you in the next one.